It's all going to be a brand new start as we move into our second map of this week 2 game with Fenneks against 425. They're going to be going into Gully Wash. What do you think about Gully Wash?
I think it's an even more defensive map than Process. So, if trends are anything to go by from this Process game, this Gully Wash game could be excruciating. But I'm sure it won't. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, Gully Wash has the potential to be a very choky, stalematey map, but it also has the potential to be a very fast-paced and fluid map as well. It just depends how the teams choose to play it. And from what we saw on Process, we could be seeing a little bit of a stalemate situation, but I also think that we will be seeing a lot of sniping to break up the stalemates, and I think it will be slightly more effective between the mid and second point than it was on Process. So I think we'll be seeing a lot of sniping to break those stalemates and give them the picks that they need to have the confidence to push into points. And of course, the last pushes on Gully Wash are always an absolute delight, and I think we'll see many a failed last push. And I think both of these teams really need to get their act together if they want a chance at contesting the upper echelons of Prem this season. They are not going to get anywhere with a playstyle that is so passive like this. The teams that are more aggressive and have better team dynamics are just going to roll straight over them.
But it's fine, though. It's early in the league, and the league is more of a marathon than it is a race. So they could still learn plenty from these matches and come out very well in the end. And maybe causing those upsets when the qualifiers do come round. But yeah, Gully Wash.
Absolutely. It's only week 2, so they've got plenty of time to develop both of these teams. And I was actually more impressed with the game I saw from Fenneks against Pandas than I was tonight. So I definitely know that they have the potential to pick the game up and pick the speed up and play it more of a fast pace. 425, I have seen play faster pace than that, but they always were a kind of more passive than your standard Russian team. But standard Russian teams are hyper aggressive. So, I mean, these guys were just normal. And they've really, really turned on the brakes tonight. So hopefully we'll see a reversal of attitude this game as they both have a bit of a mid-map talk about what's going on and how to best counter the opposition.
Yeah, I think my man, actually thinking about it, it's kind of strange. They managed to kind of almost tame GDK. Usually he's this big powerhouse, frag-hungry machine, but seemed to be very patient in that last match, which is, an impressive in its own right. But what have you done to our poor GDK?
Yeah, possibly a factor of the players that he's with.
Was there even any crits?
There wasn't a single crits all game.
Oh my.
Dicker, reluctant to run the crits on the crits machine. Maybe thinks he's a little too rusty to really pull out the big guns. Or maybe they're just saving those players for when they face the real daddies of the season.
Yeah, just don't want to make it too hard on Fenneks. As Gully Wash, it is a map that has been in the map pool for a much longer time than Process has. So maybe with both teams being a lot more comfortable on it, they can know exactly what they can get away with and what they can't get away with.
Yeah, I think I think the demo men are going to be an important factor at the beginning of these mid-fights, and the soldiers are going to have to pull something large out of the bag, especially for 425, because I haven't particularly been impressed with their play at all. So if they can pull out some kind of coordination on these mid-fights, I will be more than suitably impressed, and it could be the deciding factor between them dribbling their way through another 30-minute game plus a golden cap, or actually managing to take this convincingly.
Yeah, Gully Wash is a map that mid especially can be dominated by a demo man's presence. If you've got a good demo man, he can cause such an impact on these mids, down from just making everybody low on the opposing team to splitting the map in complete segregations, making it impossible to get anywhere or travel anywhere. As we're still waiting for a 425 member, Kenshi, to join up here. So we'll be starting very soon, believe me, but just a slight delay for now, as he has joined the blue team, but we're just waiting on a Fenneks team member now, Samza.
The infamous Samsa.
Samsa. Oh,
But
Samsa.
I am sure that he will join after the 40-minute marathon that was the last map. They're just taking a little bit of a toilet break, a drink break, something like that. Something that we are denied in our role as casters. My voice has been parched now for a little bit. I may take a small break at some point during the map and leave it in your capable hands, TurboTabs, as I go and run and get a drink. I'm absolutely destroyed. My mouth just feels like the proverbial camel's butthole. It's so dry.
Yeah.
Both the teams do have 6 players on now as well, so I believe we will be going live fairly soon.
Yeah, don't worry, man. I've got this. Like, I watched the chat the other week, and did you see all the likes in the chat? They love me.
Yeah, they just pretended it was Facebook. That was their way of giving feedback.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, look at all these lovely community members of TF2.
You should get a Facebook page like Numlocked, and then everyone could like you.
Well, I do have a Twitter, but maybe it's probably for the best that I don't announce that. Exactly what that handle is. I'd imagine it will just be total counts of likes per cast. But still, killing time until both teams decide what they're doing here. So I've got your prediction from the process game, which it did end up in Fenneks' favour, so that's a point to me. But it's a new map now. I'm going to give you a chance to switch over if you want to. Do you want to vouch for Fenneks this time, or are you going to stick with 425?
Yeah, do you know what? I am actually going to go for Fenneks because I feel like the soldiers of 425 today are absolutely blowing. And because the last game was so slow paced, it didn't really hurt them that much. But I feel as soon as the pace picks up and on Gullywash middles, your soldiers, you're going to be reliant on your soldiers to make some room at least. I just don't feel that Sean, John, and Shayi really have it in them today. For some reason, they are sucking bad. So I am actually going to switch camps and going to go for a Fenneks victory on this map. Something like 4-2. I reckon it'll be a slightly faster paced game than the previous one. What about you?
I think you're just bullying poor 425 soldiers. I think they were doing perfectly fine as soldiers. They just have to stay on soldier and stop playing spy.
Stop playing spy, Sean John. We have gone live though for our second map of this Week 2 game, 425 against Fenneks eSports in the ETF2L Season 19 Premiership Division, sponsored by TT eSports. And we are going to see the first frag go out to Settler on Sean John, and the 425 team taking so much damage and getting crushed here. Only Samsa going down for Fenneks, and Kenzie actually there flanking from the shithouse. They didn't realise where he was, manages to pick up a kill onto the demo man and will now pick up Hafikul. No, he won't! Not before Hafikul manages to pick up Dicker, who was desperately trying to escape through the main point, and that's such a victory for Fenneks on that middle.
Well, from the first 10 seconds of the game, you can tell this is going to be balls to the wall, because Fenneks actually forgot to cap and had to go back to cap. That's how aggressive they were being, and now they're showing presence on the choke here as seeing if they can pick off any of these like instigators from 425.
Oh,
here.
GDK though, shutting down that choke point incredibly well.
But the Uber comes out for Fenneks here as he actually cleans up GDK, but he does forget Shayu, who's hidden on this top here.
Yeah, they don't know where he is.
Oh my god, doing an excellent ninja play from Shayu there, but he actually gets bounced up from all these jumping players of Fenneks.
And survives.
My
Oh
lord.
God, I feel like that was a bad play by Fenneks
Oh,
as
no,
well.
jump in coming
Samsa's
from
gonna bomb in.
Samsa.
He tries to get onto Dicker, but isn't able to finish off that frag, only getting him down to half health. And Fenneks crumbling there as
And
they try to push
Sean
through
going
choke.
for a play on the opposite flank as well, but he gets taken out immediately.
Far more action than we saw in the entirety of Process here at
Sweet
TurboTabs.
Jesus, I can't
Sweet
keep...
mother of God, it's happening.
Yes, as
An exciting game.
Fenneks do get pushed out of mid here, despite batting off 425 and the little attempts on mid there, but all the throwing away on that second point has just cost Fenneks too much, and they've just opted to go back here as they are down the Uber advantage. 425 looking to push from choke here with the combo as they do spot out.
They're going to be able to get in.
Yeah, they're coming in from this choke now quite freely actually. You'd think Samsa would have gone for an ambitious bomb here, but now they're just giving up this second completely free just to buy more time for Flush's Uber.
Yeah, they are going to get it. They're on 95% now, and had they got it a little bit earlier or possibly committed some players to block, they could have possibly gone for a defense on the second, but just playing the safe game and dropping back to last. That wasn't too cautious of them. That was a fairly good decision, I think. But 425, the onus is going to be on them to push in here and make use of their Uber, but they've dropped their Roma, so they're going to halt any plans, any attempts to do that for the moment. Samson's actually managed to flank them from behind and is now up behind in Riverside. He's going to be able to get onto Dicker, hits one rocket on him but doesn't manage to hit the second, as there were 3 players in between him and the Russian medic.
Man, if only we had a spy there. Nah,
if only he had gone spy.
Now, yeah, very good play coming out from Fenneks overall. Like, only positives there, but it does make you wonder if 425 could have just a bit off, just a little bit more. As they goes for the jump here, Sean John, see if he can get the force into Flushy. He does get him down somewhat low, but you know, 425 aren't allowed to really get in without Fenneks having something to say, and they can't really follow up that damage coming in from Sean John there. As Samsa goes for a little play himself, seeing that Sean John is down, he has time to go make a play, you know, without really costing him anything, as he'll be back up by the time Sean John is ready to push with his team.
He will, yes, and I can imagine 425 just kind of doing this again and again, trying to sack in their Roma and seeing what he can do, as it looks like they're moving towards the Riverside. Yeah, it looks like Sean John is going to go in again, but just gets obliterated, completely predicted by Settler there. Is that going to cue the push in from Samsa as well, the counter aggression? No, it looks like it's not, as they just sit around on that last point. But no, actually Fenneks getting aggressive in the upper lobby area. Captain manages to take down Sid, and they're going to engage them on the stairs. An Uber exchange happening, aggressively defending here from Fenneks. But the Uber is going to be pretty equal, but 425 have got more players ready to help. Samsa actually with a nice flank from lower, but GDK picks up 3 frags, obliterating the Fenneks team on such weak health himself, but does manage to survive that and saved that little push for his team. As Sean John fails another push into last to try and pick up the frag onto Flushy. Sean John, stop trying, man. You need some help. You can't do it alone.
And I think that was probably the actual good time for him to actually go for that bomb there. But during that like aggressive like staring contest that they had in lobby there, Sam's had like planned out his jump the second that Uber was going to come off on Dicker there, and it worked out flawlessly.
It did. That was a really nice play by Samsa, and the only reason 425 were able to hold it off was some brilliant sticky and pipe play by GDK, some solo DM to save them and pick up 3 frags of their own. Sean John is going to get caught out again on that top. But yeah, he has managed to force the Uber, and they've locked GDK out there. Oh, poor play by GDK, far overextended, but a backhand actually coming out from Sid. He's fighting against Hafikul on the last point. He's on such weak health, and Hafikul does manage to take it. Just getting the winger off there to manage to pick him up. But in the meantime, Shayu's bombed in onto the second point. The Russians have used their Uber charge, and they've picked up a lot of frags. They've managed to pick up the med and both of the soldiers from Fenneks. Along with some nice headshots by Kenzie, so they're going to be wanting to push into last here as soon as they have this second point. Yeah. Although with the spawns coming in, they may well just wait for their Uber charge.
Yeah, I was kind of caught in translation and just trying to like switch back and forth between the seconds, like, oh, there's a back cap on last, oh wait, no, there's fights going on in the second, and I kind of missed most of that action, but yeah, it just resets back to even with actually 425 with a slight Uber advantage. They could actually make a really good play out of this. With
with double off class as well. They've got a sniper and a heavy to push this last point. So this will be interesting. Sniper not the best for an Uber advantage, but heavy can be very powerful on the repush. The Uber has come in, but the only player they've dropped is their Roma. Shayu now playing the point to try and bait players in, and Sid comes in from the top right-hand side to get damage. Does pick up the Fenneks medic before he can get his Uber charge out. Now takes down Settler and Sheepy, but the only one left alive is Samsa, and unable to defend the last point from GDK and Dicker, despite them being on low health. The first round going to 425, despite a great middle and some nice plays from Fenneks. It looks like we've got an actual aggressive game on our hands, TurboTabs.
Yeah, it seems like a very neat push coming out from 425, using that sniper and heavy to a full degree, as the middle does happen out here, as both teams just kind of feeling each other out. Nothing happening right now. Kind of just ferociously staring at each other. As one Scout gets behind, but he's a bit low, so he's not. As a little fight happens in this like elbow area, Samza taking out 2 players, trying to take him on, and with the player advantage, Fenneks just cut across the point, and actually the backing out team of 425 meet Happycool from behind and completely sneaks up and kills both of their players there.
The flank from Fenneks went huge on that mid. The Scouts and Samsa got 3 frags right at the beginning of the mid as they just focused down the flank of 425, and then they managed to pick up the pocket and then flank around to cut off the exit of Dicker and GDK. A textbook middle, really great play from Fenneks' flank, and the combo were just there merely to distract and take eyes away from the flank as they perform their role.
The Uber's coming out for Fenneks here. They take out the Pyro in quick succession. They're just left up with this Heavy and all these other players from 425 here. But this Heavy's doing so much work, just bashing off all these players from Fenneks to possibly strike them down. But the Scout does get in close. Can he... Oh, but the Heavy's doing that wonderful job here, but he's going to get outnumbered now. Actually, he takes out the Theraman. Can he survive all this?
Oh, but no, he's not. He's actually going to be able to hold them off as the spawns do come in from Sean John and Kenzie. Brilliant play from Sid as he was able to hold everybody off just in time for the spawns to come out. But I'm really worried here that Kenzie's pushing out on his own into all the spawning players of Fenneks. We've seen this before, that 425 just seem unable to defend a last and then not push out from it. And actually, they've allowed Happycool in behind. Happycool is going to be in a position here where he can get onto somebody, but does get shut down by Sid.
Yeah, I don't know who went Heavy there, but really putting the Heavy weapons guy to absolutely great work there, showing exactly how effective a Heavy can be on the last hold, and wiping off just the entire team of Fenneks.
Yeah, great play by Sid.
Yeah, on the back of that, they just get the second point quite easily. They're all pretty low, 425, and they're making an ambitious go of it here. Even though they haven't got any heals whatsoever, it does make you think, like, why aren't Fenneks holding on to this mid when they can just like use their heal advantage? And now they take out all these players. Very good play from Captain here, showing off his DM capabilities. As the Scouts also go for these nice head-on. I wouldn't say a head-on flank, but like a flank and a head-on attack, kind of pincering in 425 there. The choke. Yeah, 425 with a very silly move there, trying to go into mid without any heals, it seems.
Yeah, their spawns are going to come up right about now though, and they don't actually have a Pyro to defend this Uber. It looks like they're going to be running a Sniper and a Heavy. Sid has shown us how good he is at delaying people on that Heavy class before, and now Kenzie is going to switch off the Sniper role as well. They have kind of been able to dance around this Uber for a little while. They lose both of their soldiers though in return for a Demoman frag, but now Sid and Dicker going down is going to spell the end. GDK cannot do anything, and Fenneks storm forward to tie this up at 1-all on Gully Wash.
Yeah, I do wonder why they didn't bring out another Heavy there. That would have been really good. Put some crit heals on him and just, you know, push him out into a team of like 6 players or so, and having your team behind you, it just makes it really difficult for Fenneks to kind of hold their ground on their last point of all places.
Yeah, we're going to be going into our third mid though, and I'm going to be watching the soldiers on this map as Samson and Sean John kind of feel each other out on the bottom area. Now Happycool coming forward to pressure Sean John along with Samsa, and he does get minced on the bottom as Sheepy picks up a frag of his own. So both the soldiers down here from 425, and the rest of their team just can't hold on. Happycool going up for a flank as he did before, trying to cut off the exit, but just unable to. 425 really expecting it this time and not caught out in the same kind of disadvantageous position. They were almost out by the time he was able to engage them and didn't have any backup. So it's going to be an Uber v Uber situation on last, but Fenneks have managed to roll this and get a free second point out of it, and possibly looking for an off class from Happycool to push. No, Happycool is going to go back to Scout, and the defensive Sniper coming out from Kenzie.
I was going to compliment...
Oh no, he has, sorry, Happycool has gone Heavy. We're going to be seeing an offensive Heavy push.
Yeah, well, if 425 can do it, I'm sure Fenneks can do it, so they're going to try out the Fat Man here, see how well it works for Fenneks here. But I was going to compliment just earlier about Samza's like tempo control throughout all this match, just showing how much work a Roma can do and how he can do it. It seems Sean John is kind of one-dimensional right now and just going for these very simplistic bombs and hoping he can just get the best, while Samza's really going for these between distraction plays and just like territorial play. Really good to see, but in saying all that, Samza just goes for a one-dimensional bomb and gets taken out. But still, They've got a heavy. They're not going to give up the second point quickly.
Yeah, it looks like they're not using the heavy to push. They were just using the heavy as a backup strategy in case the bombs or the play that they made did not turn out well. But with no high ground, that heavy is going to be less effective than it would otherwise be. And 425 are going to have the room here to be able to push out, take second, and maybe take down this heavy as well. But Settler's not going to give that up so easily. Comes in and does get the frag on GDK along with Hafikool. And this is going to be a 3v3 situation, with 425 being forced to back off to their last, unable to pick up that Spire.
I think 425 didn't even know that Fenneks had a heavy right there. He was kind of hidden behind the point, disconnected from his medic, and I was a bit worried he was just going to get easily cleaned up after the second point was all said and done. But Fenneks, smartly realising that they have the heavy on the point, they can just commit the entire team in and probably win the fight just from the heavy alone. Very well played by Fenneks.
Now Fenneks now moving slightly further forward with this heavy along the riverside, so he may get used in one of these last pushes, or possibly just to come in after the Ubers have been exchanged. It doesn't look like they're going to do a sack and then going to try and hold second and bait 425 out. So we'll have to see what kind of push comes out here. Sheepy also moving forward on this riverside as the sniper. Is he going to be able to find anybody? Sean John is going to be the first person he
sniper
sees.
Sniper versus sniper.
Yeah, Kenzie with the defensive sniper as well, and they are going to see each other in a moment. Kenzie going down going down to low health, but managing to link up there with Shayu to pick up Sheepy.
Yeah, Sheepy getting juggled there and making a very easy pick for Kenzie to clean up there. So it seems both teams are just going to delay this out a bit longer, but it's in neither team's interest as they're both just sat at 1-1, 15 minutes remaining. As the actually Uber comes out from Fenneks here, but the counter Uber comes out from Dicker, and he's got this big heavy weapons guy, but Fenneks knowing this, they're just going to back out.
But Hafikool is actually doing the submarine play as heavy on half health, and he's going to come on the point now. He's going to get minced. He just took way too much damage, but he's drawn a load of eyes to the point, and this will be a perfect opportunity for Fenneks to repush, but they get crushed by 425. 425 took out the heavy far too quickly, and were able just to turn around immediately, so there was no distraction, no turning of eyes for Fenneks there like they would have wanted, and nothing going right for them as they get wiped almost, only Settler staying alive, and now he's going to go down, so yeah.
And we've got a spy coming out from Hafikool, who's going straight into lobby. Maybe he's going for the last point? Sure,
he would be able to get it if he hadn't just run into Kenzie and somebody had been able to block second, but he does get absolutely rinsed there due to a misstep.
It's not been a good game for the Spies, has it?
It really hasn't. It really hasn't.
Yeah,
we saw one good play. We saw one good play from Samsa as he had already been called and managed to get the pick on GDK on process, but apart from that, nothing.
Yeah, the Uber advantages are still in 425's favour, but Settler actually forcing this Uber off, and can he get out? No, he can't get out. He's just made far too low just having to force that Uber there. It would be cheeky thinking he could get out there. As with the Uber coming out, 425 just get a nice second point for free, just about, with Fenneks just backing out immediately. But they do have this Uber, but they know that 425 is just completely crawling up behind them, didn't even... No, I suppose, except maybe Samsa. Or did Samsa point kind of lead the last point? I'm not sure.
425 do manage to pick that round up though, and they are going to make that 2-1. So we're going into the fourth middle. A small lead here for 425. It's been a faster game than we saw on process. The mid fight is going to begin with a little under the point engagement between Hafikool and Sid, but Sheepy's got the reign of the high ground at the moment. None of 425 wanting to commit there, and none of them with any kind of position at the moment. But now they're going to try and commit on the right hand side, but GDK gets spammed down by some rockets from from Captain, sorry, but he's going to go down as well from the scouts and soldiers linking up quite nicely, and it's a 3v1 situation as Sid is going to pick up the last two frag. No, he's not. Ooh. Nice play from Hafikool. I thought he was definitely going to go down there, but he does manage to pick up Sid, and he's delaying Dicker and GDK for so long.
Yeah, it seems the issue there was Flushy kind of got cut off from his team, like determined to have one of his scouts survive that mid by going to fetch him from underneath, but this left like the 4 other players on his team to just slowly diminish on that top area as all these heals just come out from 425, slowly picking away at them and gets them one by one, but Hafikool doing a good job to actually even it slightly out at the end there. As yeah, we've got 425 pushing in here with the Uber advantage. Sean John jumps straight around this corner, seeing what sort of initial damage he can get through. 425 not even looking to use this Uber immediately, they're just milking it for all that they've got. Nobody's really challenging Shy Yu in this lobby here, and they're all forced to back out, so why not use it, I suppose.
But they are allowing Flushy time to get his Uber activated, and as they use the 425 Uber on the top right hand side, Flushy is going to be able to get his in time to defend. Last does pop it off now as the red Uber comes out, and they pick up tons of frags left, right and centre. Only GDK and Sean John left alive. Sean John currently hiding. Very sneaky position, and GDK was in secret as well, was he?
Yeah.
I didn't see him there in secret, even though I've got wall hacks on, and Sean John was also hiding. So the Fenneks team not having a clue where those two players are and getting absolutely destroyed by them. Nice little backcat play there from 425 to bring this to 3-1. They're running away with this match.
Yeah, it seems like, but there's still plenty of time on the clock, 10 minutes to go, and that we've all seen Gully Washers before that come down to the wire, and rounds can happen back to back to back, quite quick succession. But as this mid happens here, Sean John goes for again that ambitious jump, but he just gets denied immediately by these scouts, and with Fenneks on the counter attack just picking off these players here, right and there, and it seems Fenneks have got the superior, but actually 425 come back in with their healed players now.
Sid came behind there and destroyed Flushy as he was at choke, and now minces Happy Cool. He's on the warpath, but Sheepy does manage to block his 3k there. But Sid securing the heal and Uber advantage for his team is going to give a great advantage in favour of 425, as there might be another little mid-fight here as Fenneks respawners come in to try and force the Uber out of Dicker and make sure that he isn't able to pick up this mid-fight without a real contest.
Well, they have Uber advantage. I don't know why they just don't want to go, and Sean John is in there? Okay. Well, they're going now as they Uber in from choke, but at that point to mid is almost capped out, but maybe all that ferocious capping can bait out some players to maybe go a bit too ambitious and hold on to that point. Is that exactly happens there? Samza gets taken out immediately, but this does put Fenneks in the Uber advantage seat.
It does, but if 425 pushed aggressively there with the little bit of room that they got on Big Door by killing Samsa before the Uber charge came out from Flushy, they could have really done something. But as it is, they're just going to allow Flushy to get his Uber charge up, and they've wasted an opportunity there for a good non-Uber push, in my opinion.
As the Uber comes out here from Fenneks from Big Door, they go straight to this choke point, pushing out the combo of 425 here, as the flank team is trying to ferociously work out on 425, who are kind of like stuck in here, and they do get a pick onto Kenshi there, and also gain vital cap points going. But the Uber comes out for 425, determined to try and make this block happen, but it doesn't happen in the end, and all of 425 just start, 425, Fenneks start to scatter, as now that they come back in with their heals and all, and reset the positions, they just take out 425 in all the chaos, as they just try to pick up too many kills with that Uber and trying to block the point.
Yeah, trying to do a little too much there, and Fenneks made them pay for it. A big commitment there from Samsa and Captain, the soldiers of Fenneks, as they really bombed in hard to try and pick up any retreating 425 players. The only one they managed to get was Sean John, so that's put their team in a bit of a disadvantage, but they do have a big Uber advantage, so they're waiting for Captain and Samsa to respawn, and they should have enough time just to get in if they focus down Dicker incredibly hard. They need to be going right now though with their scouts, and that's what they do. Sheepy and Hafikul come forward desperately trying to get onto Dicker, but he's hiding in the spawn with his heavy Sid. He is going to be able to retreat and spawn. He's on 99%. He's not going to be able to meet up with Kenzie in time and gets obliterated on the point. So unlucky, but such a nice push by Fenneks, knowing exactly the right timing and just completely denying the Uber that was so close to coming out there.
Yeah, I was wondering why 425 was just like going straight face first into the Uber there, but it seems like they just miscalculated slightly on that Uber, hoping that Dicker would get his Uber in time and just fight that Uber with Uber. As the second mid comes, another mid comes out here as Fenneks favoured this right hand side to capture this point immediately, and they take out Shayu onto the point. Sid gets taken out as well, but GDK joins the fight onto mid, but the player advantage is just coming in from Fenneks here, showing really the power of teamwork.
absolute destruction from the Fenneks soldiers. They rinsed 425 there, picking up 5 frags between them. Really huge plays from Captain and Samsa, showing the soldier advantage that they have over 425. Kensey's going to run the sniper in an attempt to make something happen. They have such a disadvantage. Sean John hiding above the thing, but gets destroyed. Poor Sean John, he's having such a bad game.
Actually,
currently sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard with 18 points.
What happened there was like Fenneks actually pushed through big door, and he saw Sean John just setting up for them at choke, and kind of like stared at him for a good second and went, "Yeah, okay, let's go kill him now," and then just quickly killed him.
Oh, Kensey hitting a nice shot onto the roaming soldier from Fenneks to make it a 6v4 situation as Fenneks try and push in. They do have the Uber and it's been popped off, but not much damage going out onto the 425 team, and they are going to have the health advantage and the player advantage to be able to crush this push. Flushy is going to go down in lower lobby if Sean John manages to chase him, but he isn't going to be able to. Oh, poor guy. But the 425 team is going to have a full Uber advantage to push out of this last point and retake second. Sid's still on heavy on last to just to block any kind of backcap attempt, but the Uber has come out. Shayu leading it along with GDK, and they both pick up frags onto Captain and Happycool. So a 6v4 situation now would also be a good time to push onto mid and have another non-Uber push. But I don't know whether 425 are going to do it. Yes, they... Oh! Settler manages to pick up a kill, but he's been juggled in. Desperately trying to hit pipes onto Dicker. Does manage to land one of them, though, and that's going to send Dicker down to half health and possibly stunt their push. They've spent a little too long debating about it as well, and now the Uber is going to come up for Flushy.
Yeah, very well played by Fenneks there to not to go into temptation and try and follow up like Settler's damage here. The Uber actually comes out, they double scour straight through and taking out GDK and Sid Vicious there. And just for player advantage alone, these 3 players, there's no way that 425 can defend this now, as they just have to go back to last. They do hold on to a Uber advantage still. Well, actually, they keep going with this. They bomb us straight in, and they've had the team just right behind him, seeing if they can get the pick onto Dicker, and they do, and actually at a cap point as well for just the big plays, I guess. I didn't see that.
Nice work.
And neither did 425.
Yeah, nice work rolling the momentum forward there from Fenneks. That's the nice aggressive play that we would like to see, taking a little bit of a risk, running possibly into an Uber charge, but they timed it to perfection and managed to pick it up to draw it level at 3-3.
Yeah, as another mid comes out here, both Demoman favouring their own left-hand sides here. As the 425 soldiers decide to play a little less aggressive this time, just kind of set up on this mid. But again, Samsa and Happycool just doing wonders on these little like flank areas, like in the elbow and underneath, just doing, you know, atrocious amounts of damage and fragging power coming out for those two there.
Yeah, Happycool picking up the medic and the demo man there to secure that for his team. So big plays by him, currently at the top of his scoreboard with 2 dominations, having a hell of a game. Settler pushing a little bit too far forwards. He was very much at risk of throwing his life away when his team want to push last with a full Uber advantage. I would have been screaming at him if he'd done that, but he does manage to survive with 10 HP, and it looks like they're going to be going main with him and Happycool, possibly Sheepy for backup as well, as they are going to use this Uber, but they're going to get blocked by a Pyro of Shayu, which is going to reduce their Uber down to almost nil, but they pick up frags onto 3 of the 425 players, now onto GDK, so no stickies on the point. This is going to be an absolute whitewash for Fenneks. They use the Uber just to punch a hole through the Fenneks defense and get into main, and once that was accomplished, they just swarmed on them.
Yeah, 425 having the right idea using that Pyro, and he did delay that time just as much as he did last time, but this time 425 didn't rotate round, and because of that, both of the teams just got decimated. I mean, both of the teams, one of the 425 just got decimated.
Yeah, so we are now heading to our 8th middle. The score 4-3 to Fenneks, and Fenneks having another decisive mid. Looks like they're taking down Dicker and Sid very early, but return frags coming out here from Kensey and Shayu. Only Samsa and Settler left alive on such low health, and the scouts are gonna... Oh no, it's not even the scouts. GDK getting a pain train kill onto the opposing demo man, and Sean John picking up a frag. My boy Sean John coming out big with a frag. Well done. And they managed to secure that round, so we could well be seeing the score get tied up at 4-all, as they're actually winning crits. It's crits crits hype
Oh my god.
coming out from Dicker, and it's probably going to be used onto the crits machine of GDK. I'm so hyped to see how this works. They're going to be facing up against the double off-class Pyro and Heavy Defense here, and Settler as well with a sticky trap on Riverside that he's trying to bait someone into, but Shayu's ready and waiting for it.
Yes.
Oh, he does actually just push forward with some stickies, as Shayu was so slowly clearing them with not a care in the world.
No, that's how he clears sticky.
But the crits is coming out, and GDK popping off the first crit sticky. Nice reflex from coming out from Happycool to avoid his medic getting picked, but at the same time Sid flanked and destroyed Flushy. So a great push coming out overall, but Sheepy finally doing... not finally, sorry, but at the end of this push, doing a lot of work on this Heavy, blocking the rest of 425 as they're unable to get the frags, and Sid finally being taken out by Flushy with his crossbow. So not quite the push that they would have wanted. GDK's crits not coming out trumps there against the Pyro of Happycool, but Sid doing a good job to get in there and shut down Flushy even so, and since they're still running crits, they are going to have a 25% advantage to push into as soon as they get it up, assuming they build it. They're not actually building it at full speed.
Yeah, it does kind of call into question whether or not how useful Shayu just added on top of that would have been if he wasn't taking them out immediately for that push, but they didn't have time to clear these sticky. Shayu just had to clear them quick or die, basically, and I guess he'd have to die. Whilst the crits wasn't super effective, actually Shayu makes a little initial bomb distracting coming in from here, but that wasn't any English at all. But the Uber comes out from Fenneks, just nullifying his crits whatsoever, and the Sentry Gun also doing its job of stopping any sort of bomb coming out from Shayu as well.
But Fenneks again are going to be in the same situation where they have to defend a crits creep when they don't have an Uber. I mean, they had the Uber there, but that was only because of poor building. So Dicker now surely is going to be able to be building furiously, grinding away. He's not actually. What on earth are they doing? But now he's going to get Sid up to grind away, and they are going to have an advantage to push. And Fenneks can't let them keep pushing in with these crits and just be content with throwing them out.
Well, pretty much this calls upon Fenneks just to go aggressive onto 425 when this crits comes out, and that's exactly what Captain does. But it's just Captain going aggressive on this crits. As finally
the crits! It destroys Happycool and Flushy, and also a pick coming out from both of the off classes. So great play here from 425 to secure
with 8
that.
seconds to go as well.
Yeah, wow, incredible place to tie it up to 4-4 and send us to another golden cap, TurboTabs.
Oh my word.
The crit's finally working out, and you gotta feel like, I don't know, Fenneks obviously saw the time ticking down and just thought that they could probably defend one more crits push, but they're just playing with dice by putting themselves in that situation and not making an attempt to push out. I suppose they figured it was more risky to attempt to push out without Uber than to just hold on and see if they could defend, but it doesn't quite work out for them. Nice play by 425, and they draw it level at 4-4. Let's have a look at some logs as well before we go into the golden cap.
Like, I agree with Fenneks there. They shouldn't really have pushed out, like, on that sort of situation, but what they should have done is gone aggressive, towards the Chris, just like bomb some players in, like kill the players that have just all this damage that could possibly pour out of them, because the crits last for quite a while, and it's only a matter of time before that crits is just going to come in and do that big pick play like it did.
Yeah, we see Settlers actually, as I look at the logs, at the top of the damage board here, getting 11k out, 386 damage per minute, much more respectable damage numbers this map than the previous map. It was a much faster paced game, more entertaining to watch as well. And GDK, they're having a better KD, but slightly less damage. And the soldiers outclassed from 425 completely. They're at the bottom of the bottom of the frags, the bottom of the damage, just completely outclassed by Samsa and Captain. Samsa actually having a really good game on Roma, going 31 for 23 with 313 damage per minute. Really great play from him and his pocket captain. The scouts just kind of sitting in the middle of the scoreboard there, but 425 really need to pick up their soldier play if they want a chance at winning this golden cap, I think, or just have to pour everything into the crits and roll the dice and try and try and get GDK to pull something magical out of his hat.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Sam's performance there, because I'm glad the stats show it as well, because he had a phenomenal game, just like tempo controlling the mids, doing these nice little plays, and obviously doing his regular duties on top of all that, and just showing exactly how it should be done on Roma, on a class that doesn't get much recognition in the first place. So I would say my man of the match, well, for that map anyways, Samza.
Yeah, pretty good game from him. And also, as I arrange it by frags, I see that Sid Vicious had a fairly decent fragging game as well, pulling out 34 for 21, and of course had some clutch heavy players at various points as well to keep 425 in it. We have actually lost a player from the server. I'm not sure.
I think Kenzie's just having a smoke break.
Yeah, just having a little break before we go to this Golden Cap. They have been playing for quite a while now. The first map, of course, of tonight went to a Golden Cap as well. If you have just joined us, this is the second map of the Week 2 fixture between 425 and Fenneks eSports, both of whom are competing in the Premiership division of Season 19 ETF2L powered by TT eSports. And the first map did go Golden Cap to Fenneks. So the current point distribution, the way that ETF2L works is that the Golden Cap winners get 2 points and the Golden Cap losers get 1 point just as a reward for taking it to a Golden Cap. So it's currently 3 points on the board already for Fenneks, no matter what happens.
And we're going live?
We have gone live. Who are we going to watch at this middle? I feel like we should probably watch Samsa, seeing as he had such a spectacular game. Yeah, so
Gonna get my pen and paper out, see how it's done. Like,
write your notes down.
Yeah, he goes straight towards that drop down area, so he's gonna go for a drop down play, it seems. But 425 are gonna negate most of this by just climbing up to this left hand side here. As Samsa does actually show some little presence and takes out Sid Vicious, who was a bit low in the back there. Also takes out 425, really coordinating with his team there to put full effectiveness to his bombs. Very good play coming out from Fenneks so far, and it seems almost it's in the bag.
Yeah, that was a really nice play by Fenneks. They got 425 into a clumped up position, and they got a nice early frag on Sid, which Samsa managed to spot and pick out. And then they just all at once jumped on them. So some really nice, well-timed aggression from Fenneks to gift themselves a huge Uber advantage to push into this last point with. They're going to be facing a heavy and an engineer, but they get a pick onto Sean John, the Roma, very quickly, and that sentry's going to do nothing as it's only level 1. Kenzie and Sid now coming out, trying to desperately do something, but the pipes coming out onto the heavy are going to secure him. A nice little airshot from Captain, and Fenneks absolutely destroyed the Golden Cap in about a minute, I think that was. That was absolute destruction. So Fenneks picking up both of the Golden Caps tonight. That is going to be 4-2. Yeah, 4-2. The score overall is going to be in favour of Fenneks. So well played by them, and what a dominant last round, TurboTabs.
Man, whilst I'm happy to see the People's Champion did win in the end, I'm also a bit disappointed that my master predicting skills didn't come to fruition. Yeah. 425, why did you do this to me? Beat Sideshow or something for one.
Yeah, a bit of a throw there, but both teams playing admirably. They managed to take both maps to the Golden Cap. I am going to skip the logs from that tiny little game. They're going to show us absolutely nothing, and I'm going to go straight to finding some players for interviews. We are going to be able to get Sheepy and Samsa, but I am not sure whether I can get in contact with any of the 425 guys. I will simply be a moment. Please entertain the proletariat while I am gone.